So I'd like to welcome in trial lawyer and legal analyst Richard Schoenstein. Richard, great to see you again. Really, such a tragedy here. We're now learning that this 42-year-old is being charged with murder. What is your reaction? Do you think that charge makes sense based on what is publicly known so far?
Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. And based on what I've heard about this case, I do think the charge makes sense. Now, Texas has an elaborate statutory framework for self-defense, for something called the castle doctrine, for stand your ground law. There are a lot of potential defenses to a murder charge, but all of them require a reasonable belief by the shooter that they're either under risk of being harmed themselves or that there's a crime happening, there's theft of property, there's something going on. Simply having your doorbell rung doesn't do it.
All right, I want to talk a little bit more about some possible defenses. But first, do you think this charge could be, will be, may be amended? Do you think he will also face any additional charges?
I don't know if there are any additional charges. Without knowing more specifics about the facts, if there was any other motive, if there's any other backstory to this, I don't know what other
I guess I'm
charges.
thinking maybe, do you think there could possibly be attempted murder? If he was in fact firing into this group of children.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point. If he was shooting at more than one kid, then yeah, there could be attempted murder of others. That's actually a very good point.
All right, so our system, and you were talking about this, Richard, our system presumes innocence, of course, until proven guilty. How do you think his attorney will try to defend his actions? It's hard to say, as you pointed out, self-defense, if he was, reportedly chasing after a group of children, firing his weapon, and then with the victim dying of a gunshot wound to the back specifically.
Yeah, I pulled the Texas law on this because I had the same thought. How could you plea any of that if you're chasing after the kids? There is a section of the relevant Texas law that talks about the right to shoot after someone who is fleeing immediately after committing burglary, robbery, aggravated robbery, or theft during the nighttime and escaping with property. But you have to reasonably believe that one of those crimes has occurred and that the person is escaping with property. I haven't heard facts that would establish that in this case, but I would think that's the flavor of the defense. Obviously, we know who the shooter is. There's no question about that, or the gun, or the injury, or the cause of death. So it's going to have to be centered on these self defense theories.
Do you think this goes to trial, or based on, again, what we know right now, which is very limited, do you think it is likely that some sort of deal is reached?
I think it's likely that some sort of deal is reached because more often than not, in a case like this, something will happen. Now, I don't know. Another thing I don't know, Nicole, is does this suspect have priors? Is there any other criminal activity here? Is there anything else going on that would impact that? But if this is his sole, accusation of an offense, and he's being charged with murder and he has this potential self-defense defense, then I think they would try to negotiate something.
All right, yeah, we will see what happens as this case unfolds. Attorney Richard Schoenstein, thank you.